Guys, how's it going? It's Al. DraftKings Week 2 kicks off tomorrow morning, and I'm excited about it. We have 5 players. Actually, I did have 5 players, but I added a 6th player because one of the players is a little bit in question, and I didn't want this video to be 4 under 5, so now it's kind of like 5-ish under 5, 6 possible, 5 plus 1 under 5, whatever the video is called. Here's a bunch of value plays that I think that you must play in tournaments this week and find a way to get them into your lineups. We're going to talk about at the end of the video how to use that and integrate it into your lineup builds at Fantasy Labs. We're going to do a pick'em on Underdog Fantasy. So let's go over these guys that are on this video. Before I start, I did want to let you know that my cheat sheet is available on Discord. Go to smizzle.tv/Discord to get into the Discord. 2, it is locked to YouTube channel members, $5 a month, and Twitch subscribers, also $5 a month. You can go to smizzle.tv/join and become a channel member here on YouTube. Then when you go to Discord, you link Discord to your YouTube account, and within an hour, it will give you access to the VIP rooms in Discord where you can find the best buys cheat sheet sitting right there at the top of the VIP section. So make sure that you get in there. Cash game plays, tournament plays, stacks, low owned plays that I think are going to be really quality to help you efficiently attack your weekend by trimming down the player pool to something that's a little bit more manageable. So drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, ring the notifications bell, and let's go.
He's a legend.
The Smiz Gang Listener League for Week 2 is posted. Go to smizzle.tv/links, $10 to enter, 3 max, $50,000, absolutely no rake. DraftKings puts this up as a thank you and a give back to the amazing community that we have here in the Smiz Gang. I will shout out the winners on the Fantasy Football channel, the Al Smizzle Fantasy Football channel, on Monday. And if you happen to win the Listener League, you get a free entry into the Week 18 Battle Royale, where all 17 of the weekly winners are going to fight it out and slug it out in a 17-man tournament for some fun prizes at the end of the year. So make sure you get in the Listener League. Let's fill it up so they don't make it smaller for Week 3. What do we got? Like 45% full right now as I'm recording this on Friday morning at about 11 a.m. Pacific time. Get in there today. Smizzle.tv/links has the link to everything you need. Austin Ekeler is my first guy on the list, sitting at 2.5% projected for the weekend. No, he is not going to play as many snaps as he played last year. He was very vocal and adamant with the coaching staff that he needed to get a little bit more time off, and we see why. He's already dealing with an ankle injury after week 1, where he had 21 opportunities against the Miami Dolphins. Now, he is the reason why this is a 6 under 5 this week, because it's absurd to me that he's under 5, but it could just be because he did miss practice on Wednesday. He was a non-participant in practice on Thursday. The Friday practice report is not out yet. They practice in the midday to afternoon. If he does not practice on Friday, it's going to be very difficult for him to play on Sunday. So monitor this situation as the week goes along, as the weekend goes along, as we get more information, as we get closer to the button, closer to kickoff, we can make more informed decisions. If he plays and he's under 5%, fantastic floor ceiling play, because the standard build for this week is that people are going to pay down at running back, pay up at wide receiver. So the easiest way to get contrarian is to pay up at running back and force yourself into an uncomfortable position. Get out of your comfort zone and build better lineups specifically organized to beat tournament fields. One announcement that I do need to make: I do host the Anti-Tinkercast on Sunday mornings, typically 45 minutes before lock on Twitch. I have to move the show an hour earlier this week because I'm going to be on Fantasy Football Now on ESPN in that last hour before kickoff for one segment with Daniel Dopp and Mike Clay revisiting the CSS DFS podcast. That's going to be an every week segment, but it's usually going to be 2 hours before kickoff, well, like an hour and 15 minutes before kickoff on most weeks. So make sure you turn into Fantasy Football Now and come by the Anti-Tinkercast. It's a lot of fun. Every Sunday morning on Twitch, you'll see plenty of graphics for it here on YouTube in the community section, as well as my Instagram and everywhere else. Bijan Robinson was my late ad, sitting at 4.5%. Outsnapped and outtouched by Tyler Algier last week, but still got 16 opportunities on his own, including 6 targets, one of them which was absolutely electric and went for a touchdown. The kid has juice. The price is a little bit absurd, and that's why we're paying up to be contrarian in this spot. He doesn't just fit into lineups this week. And there's going to be a week, he is just a more talented back than Tyler Algier, right? I don't think that that's going to offend anybody, including members of the Algier family. Bijan Robinson was a better prospect. He is shiftier. He makes people miss. Algier, a second-year guy. Bijan, a first-year guy. What tends to happen is as the season goes along and players like Robinson build more trust, rookie running backs build more trust, they tend to get a little bit more of the snap count every week. The snap count increases until they get the lion's share, 60 to 70%. Nobody is going to garner 100% of the snaps in the running back room for Atlanta because they run the ball too damn much. But because of that, this is a high value play. We need to see him get more snaps inside the 5-yard line with their big package, their short yardage package, which I think will happen in time. Right now, those went to Algier. But as such, that is going to be the things that holds down Bijan's percentages. And if you happen to catch the week where he overtakes Algier in terms of snaps, touches, possibly gets a couple of inside the 5 opportunities, you have this massive ceiling that a lot of the field is not going to unlock because they are afraid to pay up to get him. Again, it's a week where people are paying down at running back. JAHMYR GIBBS just above that range. The sweet spot for running backs this week is 4,700 to 5,900. Everybody's looking for value in that range, including Rachaad White as kind of the main chalk against the Bears, and his teammate David Montgomery is 500 cheaper and out-touched him by like 3x last week. Although JAHMYR GIBBS was the more electric looking back anytime he touched the ball. 9 yards per catch, 6-yard average on the ground. They said that that was by design. So if you trust the coaches, I tend to not trust coach speak. I believe what I see, and I believe in my own skills that I've flexed over the last 12 years in order to be able to predict the future with a little bit more accuracy than the general public on these sorts of things. There, again, much like Bijan Robinson, there's going to be a week that JAHMYR GIBBS overtakes David Montgomery in terms of snaps and touches. That could start this week. This is a game that absolutely went bonkers last year. If JAHMYR GIBBS, who has the ability to break a long touchdown way more so than David Montgomery, not that Montgomery can't, it's just not really in his skill set. He'll break some tackles. He's a little bit evasive, but they're just pounding him kind of like they pounded Jamal Williams last year, which may change. GIBBS, clearly the more electric back, sitting at a projected ownership of 4.8% going into this week. Not going to play him in cash. GIBBS is nowhere near a cash game lineup, but if you're looking for a way to get different as a part of a secondary stack with Seattle and Detroit, I don't mind it at all, or as a bring back for Geno stacks on the other side. Let's head over to Underdog Fantasy. They have these great pick'ems. If you do not have an account at Underdog Fantasy, use code ALSMIZZLE, ALSMIZZLE. That's all one word. Squish it right together. You get up to $100 deposit bonus on your first deposit to the site that you can use for any of their great contests, like the Battle Royale in season, their best balls. They run late best balls. What do they call them? Resurrection best balls after a couple of weeks, where they cut off the first few weeks. If you had a bunch of injuries, if you were heavy on Aaron Rodgers or anybody else, you can get in those as well. I've picked 2 for you from the video that we have right here. JAHMYR GIBBS over 36 rushing yards and Bijan Robinson over 18.5 receiving yards. We're going to do that for $50 to try and win $150. I'm going to accept every single one of these. Boom, boom, confirm. There's my ticket. Make sure you head over to Underdog today. And if you wanted to have sharper picks for your pick'ems on Underdog or on Prize Picks, head over to Unabated Sports. You get a trial by using my promo code smizzle.tv/bet or using the code SMIZ at checkout. Either one gets you the discounted rate over at Unabated Sports. Go check it out if you wanted to be better with your betting. And if you're in a sports betting site, amazing tools to help you shop for the best lines, shop for the best props, and everything else. There's a video up from Peter Jennings on the Fantasy Football channel, if you wanted to check that out, where he's looking at all the different lines and props for week 2 specifically, and how you can use Unabated to better find those for you. So go to smizzle.tv/bet, support the places that support our channel. DK Metcalf being 3.1% when he is in one of the most populated games that people are looking to attack with stacks, because not only do we know that Detroit in the Dome is somebody that you want to play because offensively they're better, we also know that they do tend to shoot out an awful lot an awful lot when they play at home. So if Seattle's going to get after him a little bit, then it makes sense that DK Metcalf, who only had 5 targets in week 1, but a tremendous move that scored him a touchdown early in that game, this could be a week where he posts a nuclear game. He has done that before. So is Tyler Lockett. Both of them are under 5, but I'm picking DK Metcalf because I want the bigger guy. I flipped a coin and I said, give me the bigger guy, because he is the one they're going to target when they get close to the goal line. JSN, Tyler Lockett, smaller wide receivers. Lockett playing on the outside for the most part. JSN and the snaps that he played was in the slot like 90+% of the time on his routes. DK Metcalf, he's the X guy in this offense, and he's the one that I want to target here. 3.1% is kind of absurd for the level of talent, upside, 100-yard bonus possibility, and touchdowns that we have seen from him numerous times in the past. And this particular game, Seattle versus Detroit, won a Millionaire Maker with a game stack in it last year. This is going to be a very chalky spot, so finding places with this stack to get contrarian make a lot of sense. I kind of feel like he's going to get gassed up as the weekend moves along. He may not be under 5% on the weekend. If he's not, don't tell me in the comments he's 6% now. I definitely can't play him. He's low played, and he's somebody you should be targeting in your Seattle stacks or in your Detroit game stacks with him as a bring back play. Michael Pittman Jr., we were worried, or not we, people were worried that AR-15 was not going to be able to throw the ball with any sort of efficiency or effectiveness. He proved that that was wrong. I thought that they were only going to throw it like 25 times or less, much like Justin Fields, but they threw it way more than that last week. The one thing we were definitely right about is that when you have a running quarterback that's going to be running read option or RPOs, they tend to be one read plays. So when you have a wide receiver like Michael Pittman Jr., A, rookie wide receiver, B, a rookie quarterback, and B, a running quarterback. Both of those things are negatives for wide receivers. One, because running quarterbacks tend to throw the ball less times per game. They tend to steal inside the 5 passing opportunities, end zone targets, which are extremely valuable. And rookie quarterbacks do lend themselves to a lower ceiling over the course of an entire season for their pass catching group, because they tend to throw for less completions, less yards, and less touchdowns. But when you combine the fact that he is the only really super viable pass game option that the Colts have, and the offense that they're running for AR-15 results in it being a one read play, and Pittman is that one read on most of those plays, you end up with an 11 target game. They're not going to be downfield throws an awful lot of the time, 12.1 yards per catch on average, but those short reads end up with him being able to get open because he is great at separation. 2.5% played in a game against Houston, who doesn't do a great job of guarding. I love Indy Houston as secondary stacks. If you're paying for a very expensive primary stack, coming back with Pittman and one of the Houston pass catchers or Pierce looks to be a low percentage way to drop the cumulative percentage of your lineup and the product percentage of your lineups with guys who are going to get volume against bad defenses. Volume is king in DFS. Bad defenses lead to more efficient numbers and touchdowns. So I kind of like Pittman, and I can't understand why he's at 2.5% this week. I'm guessing that it's because of where he sits price-wise in this kind of no man's land. People either paying up for like Steph Diggs, Devontae Adams, ARSB, all those guys at the 7,600 and above range, Jamar Chase in that range as well on this slate, or they're coming all the way down to like the 5Ks and below, where like Deebo Samuel, Puka Nacua, Tutu Atwell, and in the 3Ks where plenty of players exist as well this week. So like Pittman's just in no man's land and seems to be flying way under the radar for a guy who projects to be a high volume play with a quarterback who might be better for an offense than most people were assuming. Gabe Davis is a guy who is a high profile player on a big time offense with a quarterback set to bounce back. They played on the road on an island game in week 1 against an extremely tough defense. Now they go back home playing in their friendly confines in good weather against a defense that is nowhere near as talented or able to shut down what the Bills bring to the table as were the New York Jets. We know that Gabe Davis has slate breaking ability. Yes, he is priced at a place that's going to hold down his percentage. He is projected at checks notes 1.6%. Secondary stacks, if you're playing Devontae Adams and want to come down off of Steph Diggs, fine. If you wanted to get off of the chalk, fine. Gabe Davis is a way to get there. And if you're doing Josh Allen double stacks, an easy way. I think he's going to be the 3rd or 4th most played skill position player, not including Josh Allen. If you include Josh Allen, he's like the 5th most owned Buffalo Bill this week, behind guys like Allen and Diggs and Kincaid and probably Cook. He's a 60-yard touchdown waiting to happen. No, he's not going to get 8 targets, right? He is a boomer bust play. But if you're playing in tournaments, those are the plays that you want to try to take shots at, because that can make the difference between coming in 500th or 1st. Let's head over to Fantasy Labs. Go to smizzle.tv/labs with an uppercase L. Get a discounted membership to the site. You guys have all seen my position rules that I make, right? We're forcing double stacks and bring back plays, and where we're doing all this stuff, I make sure that I've got at least one player at running back and wide receiver where they're less than 12% played. But how do you include these guys into a stack? Or into a lineup grouping that you're going to make? How about we make a specific player group where we force every lineup to include at least one of EKELER, GIBBS, Robinson, METCALF, Pittman, and Gabe Davis. Apply these settings, generate 150 lineups. We're immediately going to get different at every single lineup spot through all the stacks that we're going to have this weekend. I appreciate you guys watching. Go check out all the tools that we've highlighted on this video, and I wish you the best of luck this Sunday in week 2. Look out for another video right there.
He's a legend.